All right, let me look around. We need around 233 people more in the room before I start. So let's make sure that we have as many folks here as possible. And thank you so much, guys, for being here, because you make our work possible. Like, without you, I wouldn't be staying here, right? And none of us will be here. And none of us will be able to actually change and transform life of others, of our younger peers, which is the most incredible thing we are able to achieve as Liberty International, as free marketers working in the third sector, seeing our young friends elevating their careers, becoming big leaders. I mean, this is really what it's all about. So thank you so much, guys. Okay, all right. We'll give another 5 seconds and we'll be ready to start as soon as my presentation comes up on the screen. My name is Sebastian Węglerz and I'm the head of trainings department at Liberty International. I've been with Alive for 3.5 years at this point. I was a fan of Mary Reward, Ken School and Per Byland years and years before. So for me, being able to actually work with those guys, being on a Zoom call with them like every day on WhatsApp, I mean, that was just like absolutely incredible. So that's my story in a nutshell. Okay, right, trainings department. What do we actually do? Who do we train? How do we train them? Guys, I'm sure that most of us remember the aha moment, right? Where we first came across the ideas of liberty. I mean, for me, it was like, wait, so there's a word for that? So there's an actual group of people that think just exactly like me, believe in those principles, they come together at these conferences, trainings. Wow, I need to know more. I mean, it was just like a breath of fresh air, right? I mean, I bet most of us were lonely libertarians, shout out to Ron Manners, among our circles. I was the first libertarian in my town, basically, right? So right now we have more and more of them. So for me in 2014, when I started my libertarian journey, I needed to know more. So I took every opportunity. And back in 2014 in Poland, there were very few opportunities to actually get the knowledge. So thanks to the internet, I managed. So actually, this is what we do. Someone needs to train newcomers. Someone needs to equip them with sound knowledge, with strong arguments, right? So they can do well in every debate, wherever they are. They know what they stand for, and they know what they believe in, right? Because that's really the foundation. Guys, I will tell you about a couple of the biggest projects we are doing in this so-called modern era of Liberty International, because obviously we all know that ISIL, International Society for Individual Liberty, was doing amazing work for decades, right? Prior to the digital era. So I will tell you about a few of them. So starting from the beginning, right? Like an hour and a half ago, you guys had Glenn Cribe on the stage. He basically told you everything you need to know about liberty camps. I will try to fill in a couple of gaps here, right? So Liberty Camps is a joint venture of Language of Liberty Institute, the great Glenn Cribe, and Liberty International. This is how Jacek Spendel got introduced to the ideas of liberty. I mean, this is just amazing. When it comes to numbers, the Liberty Camps, we had over 90 camps. Glenn, I asked Glenn specifically like 10 minutes ago, Glenn, give me the exact number, 93, 95. He's like, dude, I don't know. But we are close to 100 camps in 35 countries. Next year we'll be in Argentina, we'll be in Bolivia, we'll be in Pakistan. There are many more in the pipeline. So this is an amazing program. But why? Look, we are here in a formal setting, all wearing nice, fancy hotels, fancy suits and all of that. When the folks come together for Liberty Camp, they sit together around the campfire, right, wearing a hoodie, a worn-out T-shirt, right there, enjoying a glass of wine and discussing the ideas of liberty in a friendly, like very informal atmosphere, right? We need both of that. We need those formal sittings and we need those informal sittings where we can ask all sorts of questions that came to my mind. And Glenn is an amazing mentor, and he got all the answers. And even if he doesn't have any answer, he will admit it, right? Not like politicians, they have all the answers all the time. So I encourage you guys to check out Liberty Camps, to show up at one of them, become a sponsor, recommend it to your younger peers, because it's really worth it. Another project that I would love to tell you about. Guys, this is why we are exactly here. So we flew here straight from Phoenix with an amazing group of 5 incredible leaders. We spent already 3 weeks in Phoenix, and there are 3 more weeks ahead of us of this 6 weeks intense, very intense academic program, volunteering, networking. Basically what we've been doing for the last 7 years, this is an 8th edition. We take the brightest, the creme de la creme, the best leaders out of the entire libertarian movement. We usually receive, every season, we receive around 100, 150 applications of people who want to participate in Project Arizona. So we select only the best of them, and we put them in all sorts of different, difficult situations. Next week, we will be out there in Phoenix taking part in a Thanksgiving turkey giveaway, charity event, not really related to libertarian ideas, right? But maybe it actually is, right? Helping those in need. This is what we are all about. Me personally, I have witnessed this program transform many lives of my friends. I can tell you all day about it. I can show you all the numbers. But why don't we ask the class of 2024, guys? How do you like Project Arizona? But be honest with me. Be honest with me. What, guys? We'll talk later. We'll talk later. Thank you so much. Guys, last thing about Project Arizona. Personally, I think it's the most beautiful thing. How did this project came to life, actually? Guys, this is an amazing story. Jacek Spendel visited Arizona like 15 years ago, maybe even further, and he fell in love with the spirit of freedom that is out there in Arizona. So this is a smart guy, so he was like, hey, what can I do so I can come back to Arizona every year, right? Do something good for liberty on top of that, and on top of that, make some money. So he conceptualized Project Arizona. Here we are, 7th edition. Later, we have over 80 alumni from all over the world. A lot of those folks actually stayed in US, and they got a job. One of them actually works in Supreme Court. They are think tank leaders. This is really an amazing program that this is my 4th edition that I work on, but only my first time being here, and I can now understand why they were so obsessed with Project Arizona. I mean, this is just an amazing thing. And I encourage you guys you can actually apply for the 2025, share it with your friends. This is really an incredible opportunity. There's no any other program, project like this in the world. I can guarantee you that. All right, let's move further to the more practical and also more digital things that we do at trainings department, right? So those are in-person programs, but we do much more. And what we did in the recent years, right? Back in 2020, when we witnessed a minor okay, let's not say this word because our stream will get banned anyway, right? So basically our entire world moved to the digital sphere, right? So what did we do? So we are where our students are, our customers are. So we decided to create Libertarian Solutions online learning course. Then we followed up with the 2nd edition, actually, because the first one was a success. The edition number 2 was a tremendous success, so then we follow up with 3.0. That was the thing to do, definitely. And right now, Libertarian Solutions has over 500 alumni. Actually, one of the winners of the 3rd edition, Sarah, is here with us. So Sarah, congrats once again. We always make sure to get a nice prize pool for these folks so they can compete for it, because it's not only about the knowledge, it mostly is, but it's also about the the spirit, the competition, right? We all need that. Libertarian Solutions, those courses are sitting out there on Udemy. You can access them through our website. They're on a very affordable price. You can take the Udemy course at your own pace, so feel free to do that. And we had some legendary figures, guys, doing those exclusive webinars, especially for us. Just to name a few, we had Lawrence Reed, we had Walter Brock, Mary Ruwart, Per Byland, Ken Schooland, Jeffrey Tucker, Mark Skousen, Lobo Tigre, Jose Cordeiro, and many more awesome, incredible individuals. We had James Lark, obviously, of course. So once again, I encourage you to check out this one. And after we provided a full breakdown of the theory, that is the foundation, we decided to focus more on the practical implications. That's how we came up with short answers to the tough questions. This is the course mentored by Mary Ruwart. Obviously, it's based on Mary's great book of the same title, but this is actually a four-part video course. And the fifth class is actually a live meeting with Mary. The next one will be in December. You can access it on Udemy as well, and I will share a fun fact with you in a moment. Another course, we did 2 editions, we did 2 rounds of financial freedom, mentored by the great Lobo Tigre. Thank you so much, Lobo. We had over 190 students this year alone who completed this course. So we equipped those folks with a very solid, proven wealth building strategies. Look, money can't buy you happiness, right? But it can buy you freedom. Freedom is pretty much, you will end up more happy than not being free, I guarantee you that. So, a very special announcement and a kind of a gift from the great Mary Rua that I would like to share with you folks. Short answers to the tough questions. This course is sitting on Udemy, priced at $59.99. How about this? You are a family, you are friends. Just get the QR code, get it for free. And you get the lifetime access. You get a lifetime access to this course. Feel free to share it with your peers, with your folks. We are all about sharing the great love that we do receive from you guys. Okay, guys, let me give you 5 more seconds to scan the QR code. Yes, we will email it to you just in case. Just reach out to any one of our team members. Guys, the last program that we are actually we actually just rolled it out, that will be happening next year, and this might be a game changer. Look, so we often hear from our donors, hey, we've done so much incredible work all over the world, but right now we need some help in the US, right? Our teenagers, our students, they are turning into like socialists, right? They are more receptive to socialist ideas. They think socialism is cool. I come from Poland. We've been under a communist regime. I can tell you it's not cool. So what we're gonna do, we will show those kids a real socialism. Check it out. Next year, first run in May, we will take 10 to 12 students, depending on our capacity, to Nepal. Nepal is country number 130 on the Economic Freedom Index. A lot of problems, a lot of corruption, but we have a very strong, dedicated free market team down there in Nepal, Bikalpa, and led by Basanta. We also have a amazing mentor, which is coming from Mercer University, Antonio Saravia, who works on the academic program. You can scan this QR code, get straight to the landing page. The applications are open. This is a project only for American students, right? So we would appreciate if you could spread the word about it. Think about it as a reversed Project Arizona, right? Remember I told you about PA. So we want to flip it, and we want to take actually Americans to a socialist country. Good luck to them. Okay, guys, thank you so much. It was a pleasure and an honor. Let's have fun tonight.
Okay, hi everyone. I need you all to pretend for a while that my name is Alba. I mean, I do have a department, but my department is numbers, and you wouldn't want to see that. Like, I talked to an accountant, and what we are talking about here is our work that we do with people, because that's what really matters in the end, working with people. So I am here on behalf of Alba Orellana, who couldn't make it to Texas. She's back home in Argentina. Who knows, maybe next year we will switch, but I'm sure she's watching me. So I will try to make a good job, to do a good job on her behalf. I have a cheat sheet if anything happens, and I will give you her presentation about what the outreach department is doing, and it's as important as it sounds. Can I have the slides? Because they are nice slides, and there's a nice metaphor in there. Outreach. The remote. Oh yeah, I do. Sorry. Yeah, see. Is that outreach? That is outreach. Okay, good. Are you sure? Okay, I think I had a different one on my, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's work with what we have. So that's Alba. She is the department lead of our outreach, and like the whole team. They are not here with us, they are here in spirit, and they want to say they are very proud to be expanding Liberty International's mission, and they are working hard to spread the word across various platforms. And Alba prepared a very nice metaphor to describe the outreach department. And if I switch the slides a little bit, maybe you will see it, because I saw it on a different presentation. Hello, and now it's not working. I cannot draw, at least right now, but imagine an octopus. That was her metaphor. An octopus has a lot of hands, like 8 hands, right, octopus. Have you ever thought that, man, I really need more than 2 hands? Well, that's what the department is doing. They have more than 2 hands, just like an octopus, and they are really multitasking, spreading the word across platforms, and doing the designs, doing the posts, and reaching various audiences in various environments. So you need multitasking for that, but also you also need to be very cohesive to do this, right? It's not just, you cannot wave 8 hands without without a brain that centralizes it and knows what they are doing, right? They are working in cohesion. And of course, Liberty International is 55 years old, right? It started in 1969, so that's a long time ago. So things like social media or events were very different back then. But the main events that we want to single out is, of course, we started with the World Conference, but then we also have more events. We have now webinars, and we have social media, X, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. The flag, and when it comes to, so live events are most important, and we are meeting in Argentina, of course, next year. I'm sure you all know what are, these are the things that we now associate with Argentina, and we are all very excited for this year. And until the end of 2024, you can register with 20% discount using code MILEI. That's capital MILEI. And this is what Alba will be facilitating and doing, and you will meet her in Buenos Aires, and we are all very excited for it. And I will see if there's anything she still wants me to say, because outreach is really growing, because the world is growing, the engagement is growing, internet is growing, we have way more different platforms we have to be on. Well, I know TikTok is problematic, but LinkedIn, X, YouTube, Facebook, we are right now, I think, pushing 1,000 on YouTube, which is really good for the algorithms. We want to have at least 4 digits in our subscriber numbers, and that is happening. And we are reaching thousands of people in the world, and here's also where the octopus metaphor comes in, like the hands are very sensitive to environment, so we need to tailor our message, and that's what the team is doing. And as for online webinars, ask Maria about Digital Nomad. That was a great success. That's one of them. We also have storytelling department that will tell you what they are doing, but I really think outreach is super important because that's how you know that anything is happening. So big applause to Alba for this, and she's watching us down there, and you will meet her next year.
Okay, so I get to talk about the storytelling department, which is, you probably think it's a very unusual name for a department in a libertarian organization. And indeed, I think it's a very unique, very innovative initiative. I'm Gabriel Caprav. I'm from Argentina. I'm the lead of the storytelling department. This department was conceptualized about 1.5 years ago. I don't want to take all the credit. Himanshu conceptualized, our chief of operations, conceptualized this department with me. And I think it really stands out compared to most libertarian organizations where they also create content, but it's not under the banner of a specific department like this. So I think in that way we are unique in the libertarian world. And obviously you're all wondering what it is that we do. So what we do is to create projects, storytelling projects in different media, which we think they are a powerful alternative in communicating the ideas of liberty. And to do this, we have used different media. We have used animation, we have used documentary, and we have even used comic strips. And what we do using these different media is that we repackage ideas that might be very complex. And we do that in order to reach a much wider audience that we would otherwise reach. Our team is, really puts the international, in Liberty International. We are really spread out in at least 3 different continents. We have people in the US, we have people in Spain, in Ecuador, in Brazil, in Argentina. Most of our team, animation team, is in Argentina. And these are some of the projects that we have worked on in the last 2 years. Our most ambitious project so far, most of you know about it, is the animated adaptation of Ken Schoolen's book, The Adventures of Jonathan Gullible, A Free Market Odyssey. We adapted his book into a full season of 8 episodes, and we are very, very proud of the results. It took us almost 2 years to complete it, but I think it was worth it. You watched it yesterday. We have another animation project, it's still ongoing. Last year, we created a 3-minute trailer based on a concept from one of our friends, Eli friends, which is a free market interpretation of the history of New York. Now, that trailer that was very successful on our YouTube channel has now become, or is about to become, a 3-part series. We are now about to complete the first episode of that series, which is about 25 minutes long. So it's also growing. And our other project, which is running parallel, it's something that it's mostly I've been working on this. It's a comic strip which has taken Milton Friedman and Murray Rothbard, and we converted them into comic strip characters. We have imagined a scenario where they have come back from the dead as undead corpses, so they can complain and comment on the crazy things that are going on in our world today from their libertarian perspective. Now, why storytelling? Why we should even be considering this alternative compared to what we usually do to communicate our ideas? Now, obviously, academic, intellectual pursuits, books, papers, articles are very important, but their reach is very limited. And I think stories have a much greater reach. That's how most people learn their ideas. Films, books, TV series, comic books, that's how most people, get their ideas. So I think we should really invest into creating content like that. Now, I would like to propose this little exercise to show you the difference between communicating an idea in a more conventional way, which is not wrong, but it's the more conventional way. Just think about a group of academics, turn it to the private sector. They become entrepreneurs, they build a startup to create a new technology and provide a service to satisfy a need before everyone else in the market. They overcome initial skepticism and their business thrives. A government agency, the EPA, seizes their operation as they deem it too dangerous to continue without government supervision. The EPA meddles with this technology they scarcely understand and produce an environmental disaster. It's fine, a little dry, but what about if we give it the storytelling treatment and we turn it into a story? 3 parapsychologists get kicked out of academia and lose their funding. They decide to go into business on their own, and they create the first ghost removal service in New York City. Despite being considered loons at first, the technology they create turns out to be very successful against the ghosts terrorizing New Yorkers. Some jerk from the EPA turns up at their office, claiming that what they do is too dangerous to be left in private hands, and he takes over the operation. In his arrogance, he mishandles their technology and ends up liberating all the ghosts in captivity. Disaster ensues. Our heroes are the only ones who can save the day now. So, it's the same idea, but expressed through a story. You have characters you can empathize with, and people don't even realize they're learning something. Obviously, most of you have realized that this is the movie I'm talking about. So I think storytelling can provide us an alternative where you can communicate ideas without preaching, without teaching, and you can reach a much wider audience than we would usually reach. So, this is one of many examples. Obviously, the people who wrote Ghostbusters, I'm sure they were not trying to teach anyone anything. But it just so happens that, lines up very perfectly with our ideas. So I think we need to create more of that. So I think that if we really want to have a much greater impact, we really have to make inroads into the creation of a culture, because that's how most people receive their ideas. So I'm confident that storytelling is the future for libertarians who want to influence the culture. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Gabriel. Right, so hello again. I'm part of the research department, and there we have our presentation. Let's see if this works. Okay, cool. Right, wonderful. I was telling Jacek the other day after our training in Arizona that versus normal business here at Liberty International, we do a lot of things. We tell stories, we do social media, we do events, and we now are also doing research. And it's wonderful to see all of the things that we have accomplished with such a small team over the past years. My name is Maria Alejandra Londoño. I'm the research lead of Liberty International. I'm originally from Bogota, Colombia. I have a bachelor's in finance and international trade, and I hosted the Liberty International World Conference 2021 in Medellin. I've been an activist, and also I was the director of the libertarian movement in Colombia for a couple years. And right now we're assessing the tax freedom movement that digital nomads are now inspiring worldwide. For a couple of years, I was a homeless, but in the good way. I was a digital nomad. I lived the life of the digital nomad. Right now, I'm home-based in Bogota, but I carry the values of digital nomads. I found in this network and in this community the same that I have found here at Liberty International, and that is like-minded people that just want to live their life freely and with no one interfering, and they actually believe in the non-aggression principle, and they just want to live a peaceful life. So Jacek and I found an opportunity there to take the most of the digital nomad communities and create something more practical, and to have this instrument of freedom through the Digital Nomad Tax Freedom Initiative, which we have the index under. So the tax regimes around the world are very similar in their ways, even though they show up very differently from country to country. And as you know, markets move faster than the government, and this is what's happening with the digital nomad phenomenon, cultural phenomenon that we are now seeing. So this phenomenon, we don't want everyone to live the way of a digital nomad. We know that's not realistic, but what we do know is that we can use this phenomenon and challenge the current tax systems that we are under right now. So we want to impact the next generation of nomads, people who are seeking for their life through informed tax choices and through real information. And of course, also that these instruments and that this research that we are doing also worked as for government, and that we can also do advocacy. When I started doing this research, I found that most of the academic research, if not everything of the academic research that's out there, has seen in this phenomenon of the digital nomads a threat to their tax regimes. So they're trying to sell the idea that we need to control more, that we need to close our borders, the banks and governments need to be more aggressive with their regulations, and that in general they have to disincentivize tourism. This is what happened in Portugal, what Toyn Manders was explaining, and all this idea of gentrification in cities like Mexico, like Medellin, like Portugal, and many others around the world. But in reality, and in practice, we all know that we need more freedom. And there are no voices out there from the research perspective on this matter that defend that point of view. But when you go to social media, when you speak with the communities, when you see like blogs and articles and all of these type of things, there's people are advocating for freedom. But we are not doing like proper research, and we need also that diversity of ideas, and that's what we are doing. We're not only doing the proper research, creating the index and having this entire framework, but we are also promoting this as a practical tool. This is John Mixes. This is a feedback that he gave on our work. He's a very well-known content creator, traveler, and digital nomad. He's from the US. So what we all want is quality of life, happiness, and liberty. These are goals for every citizen around the world. So let's not let enemies of freedom keep on stealing words from us and spaces, because this is what we've seen through feminism and in many other, let's say, social battles that got stolen from the libertarian movement. And this at the goal is people just seeking freedom. And this is also an opportunity for a new perspective. Again, we need more diversity of voices. We need to be heard out there, and we can use the excuse of the digital nomads that is kind of interesting to get our foot on the door and start talking about tax freedom and open borders and many other topics. This is the excuse to do that, and again, it's an interesting phenomenon that we have to keep studying and have that broader conversation on taxation and challenging the taxation's belief that all the governments have today. Because even though some countries are very different than others, how cultures might be very different, the tax regimes are very similar. And all of this is because of the OECD model that we are under. So I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the specifics of the project, what we actually do. Right now we already have the results of the first index. You can find that on our website. We'll go there in a little bit. Through that we wrote a paper, and the idea is to be disseminating this through a public relations campaign. We did our launch through an event with Dr. Per Bailon and Christoph, a very well-known tax advisor in Poland. We reached over 400 people digitally. Most of them were new to Liberty International. We got also invited to the Radical Innovation Summit at Atlas in Mexico this year. We were one of the 10 finalists of many projects that presented themselves, and we got a ton of great feedback during this event, and also great connections as well, and some funding to keep doing this work. So the next steps will be, as I said, grow, disseminate the findings through reports, articles, and presentations to raise awareness, to develop a secondary index that surveys the perception of digital nomads regarding this tax legislation. The current index that we have, this is information from the government, the visas that they are implementing. But we want to know the real perception of the community, because what we have seen from some informal interviews that we have done, most digital nomads are not applying for these visas, but their presence in the country is forcing governments to change legislation in order to adapt. And of course, the idea will be to have much more presence in media. We have 40 countries in the index. That means that we have the opportunity to send these results in 40 different media outlets throughout the world and have a proper public relations campaign so that people talk about us in the news, in traditional media, but also in social media as well, and that we can cultivate this digital nomad global community and show them that here in libertarian circles at Liberty International we have similar values and that they should be rooting also for us. So it's a whole new world out there, and we have to be also fostering these spaces for people who are actually changing the landscape of legislation. And as I said, the idea would also have to be to take the most of this to do tax advocacy in all of these different countries. So I'll invite you to visit our index, the first results that we have. You can scan this QR code that will take us to our homepage online. And I also want to give a few words in the minute that I have left, and that is that from research, this is not only digital nomad, we see a great opportunity from Liberty International to keep fostering this type of research. We are planning to have scientific journal, libertarian scientific journal, a research journal from Liberty International, so that we can also foster voices like the ones that we have seen here on stage today, and that we can say that as libertarians we are also seeking to foster that academic voice and have that home for new ideas. Thank you so much. I've been speaking a lot this week. Now I want to invite Jacek into stage, our very dear friend and boss, so to tell you more about Liberty International. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria. Thank you, Agnieszka, Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, Sebastian. Guys, I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of what we are building at Liberty International. I don't have any presentation. I'm really proud about what we are building at Liberty International, so I want to also thank our other members of the team. I want to thank Himanshu Dhingra and of course, so Gandhi, who is here, and many others, Alba, Akari, the outreach team. Hard to mention everyone, right? But let's go into the essence. I want to talk to you a little bit about our mission and what do we do to advance this mission. You saw, right, in different departments. But now I'll focus on why. Why is important, right? If you go to these trainings about strategic thinking, they often say start with why. Why is more important than what and how. They are also important, but why is number one. So our mission is finding and expanding freedom in an unfree world. So what does it mean? First of all, we at Liberty International, we are optimists. We understand, we realize that today's world is not a free world. It's full of taxes, regulations, limitations to freedom of speech, and stuff like that. But the world is not only dark. There are elements of hope, elements of freedom, because hope and freedom, they go hand by hand. And these are things that lead towards greater freedom and greater prosperity. For example, the digital nomad revolution that we heard about from Maria Alejandra, or still global trade. Ken Schooland, my dear vice president, spoke about it yesterday. Even if the new or old president talks about tariffs, it doesn't change the reality. Our prosperity is greatly related with global free trade, or almost free trade. And we were never as prosperous as we are right now. And I recommend this newest book of Johan Norberg that talks about these things. Or a project of Cato Institute. There are other institutions who spread notion about this a lot. We really live in the best times. And our ancestors lived in a much darker era. Let's remember about this, even if taxes are theft and they are high. So we are optimists because we realize that these things are happening and we want to pick these positive elements. And we want to bring these elements of freedom closer to whom? To an individual. Let's remember our legal name is still International Society for Individual Liberty. And this finding and expanding freedom in unfree world is a mission that is dedicated to an individual. We want to bring individual, that is every single human being, closer to freedom. And our projects, our activities are all centered towards that goal, to give people more freedom. And more freedom is possible in our lifetime. Each one of you, Nodar, you, Gil, you, Gabriel, you, Maria, and I don't want to mention everyone, each one of you can live freer life. We are here to help you, to give you information, to open your eyes for opportunities. This is our mission. There are great think tanks out there that are focusing mostly on reforming governments. And I am not, my goal is not to criticize them. Many of them are doing fantastic work. It's very hard work though, because governments tend to be governments, right? Like haters gonna hate and state is gonna state. So it's very, very hard. But they do great job. They do great job. Our job is different though. So what exactly are we doing to expand that individual liberty? We have different departments, as you can see, and you may think, do you do so many different things? How does it go together? Yes, it does go together. So through stories, and Gabriel mentioned storytelling department that he's leading. I'm very proud of him and his team. Through stories, we inspire. We inspire individuals to mentally stand up to oppressors. People watch Jonathan Gullible and they have this spark in their eyes. And that's often the beginning. That's why Jonathan Gullible animation is for everyone, but especially for the young ones who are still hungry for new ideas, for truth, basically. Because freedom is about truth. It's truth of the human nature that we want to be free. Let's not be ashamed of using these big words. Freedom is true element of our nature, and seeking freedom is seeking truth. So we inspire through stories. What do we do through trainings? Through Liberty camps, through Project Arizona, we empower. We empower freedom activists so they become wiser through education. Yeah, we teach them Austrian economics. Yes, we teach them history of American Revolution. Yes, we teach them political philosophy, libertarian political philosophy. We make them wiser, we make them better connected, because networking is super important, you know that. It's not just in business. In think tank world, in third sector, it's the same. And in private life even, networking is important. So that's why our conferences, they have this family character, as we often say, because the man on the stage is one thing, and it's important. We want to have a nice presentations, great debates, panel discussions, but it's even more important what happens there at the Liberty Fair, or here when we drink coffee, or up there when we have a happy hour, right? When we exchange these business cards and we talk about our lives and our dreams. That's also important for the people that we train at our projects. We want better leaders for freedom, because these freedom activists, they fight for their communities, but they also fight for themselves. They become more successful. So I often say to my students at Project Arizona, I say, this project is not only about liberating your country. Yes, I would love your country to be a freer place, and yes, this is important. But first and foremost, it's about you. I want you to succeed. I want you to go to grade school. If Hasbu from Pakistan, he wants to be enrolled at good, maybe Western, maybe European or American university, he wants to do a master's studies. I want him to succeed, because personal success is important, and it's often connected to freedom. It's often connected to freedom, and that's what our libertarian and objectivist founding fathers also taught us. We don't forget these lessons. Through research that Maria Alejandra is running, a research department, it's our newest baby, but such a beautiful baby, right? And it will have a future. I am sure about this. A research department where we currently work on digital nomad tax freedom index, and in the future there will be other projects connected, perhaps with medical topics, with healthcare, maybe with free trade. We are researching what is the best area to grow. Through research, we equip. We give you real tools. Because somebody say like, okay, this is index, this is science. Well, index, this kind of index is really a roadmap. Because very often people are dreaming and thinking about freer life. They're not yet digital nomads, but in their minds, they start to be digital nomads. And that kind of index could serve them as a roadmap, where to go, where they will find more freedom, and less taxes is more freedom, we know that. So practical, and I often call it practical libertarianism. We want to be practical libertarians who are, through these beautiful ideas, we are making your life freer. Freer means better, healthier, happier. So this program of our action is not just another social experiment. It is bind to human nature, because in each of us lives a little sleeping libertarian. Oh, what is that? Well, I think we have maybe dual nature. There's a part of us that is more lazy, right? And there's a part of us that likes to have things to be stable and always predictable. That's understandable, but there is, I deeply believe, there's part of us that is very, very libertarian. What I have in mind is that the sleeping libertarian is that side of our nature that seeks to go beyond what is known, to take the extra mile, to taste an adventure. Yes, this is the little libertarian inside us. And it is the side of us that says, I want to choose freely. I don't want to obey. I don't want to be told what to do. I want to take responsibility for my life and take my life wherever I want. It doesn't need to be revolutionary. People may want to make different choices. Some people may want to live traditional life, and that's good. What is important is that they make this choice. That is not ordered on them. Some other people may want to live less traditional lifestyle, and that's good as well, as long as they make this choice and not people around them, pressure, government, and so on and so forth. And we are here, we Liberty International are here to wake up this sleeping libertarian and make him a giant, to lead us, individuals, towards excellence. Because good, happy life is always a result of freedom. It's a result of individual sovereignty. We are here, we Liberty International are here to make this big awakening. World will change if more people will wake up and understand that this is their life. This life is limited. And freedom is leading them towards excellence, towards happiness, and they will take these chains away, and they will put them away. And no single government is able to stop this. So it's a pleasure to run an organization that is dedicated to these noble ideas. And I want to thank Liberty International Board, our board of directors, for giving me trust to lead our team. I have a fantastic team, very international team, as you can see. We come from 4 different continents. Every day I have Zoom calls with Argentina, with India, with Nigeria, that's where we have our team members, with Colombia as well, right? And I cannot name all the countries. This is amazing. This is what actually technical advancement is giving us this opportunity. And we are truly Liberty International now, very international. This is our team. These are the hardworking people. They work day to day to expand ideas of freedom. And our board, mostly Americans, which is good, they are supporting us in this. They give us trust. They give us their expertise. Every single department has a mentor. Every project has a mentor from the board. This is not a sleeping team. A board, sorry. This is an active board. Our board is very active, supporting us in what we do. I want to also thank our donors. Many of you, most of you, vast majority are donors. I want to thank you for making all of that possible, because we don't take any grants from government. We don't rely on corporate sponsorship. We rely on people of good hearts, people who believe in freedom just like we do believe in freedom. Thank you very, very much. And again, it's an honor to run this organization. It's an honor and pleasure. Thank you.
We have a couple minutes for questions. If anyone
we can take questions. And the
a
questions
couple
can go to our leads of our departments and to me, whoever you want to ask.
Wonderful. Everything was super clear. I'm glad.
No questions? Is this good?
We were that good. Okay, wonderful.
Wes, I think Wes is
Wes,
raising his
okay.
hand.
Can you tell us more about the people on your staff? Are y'all able to pay some people, or is it volunteers, or how is it running?
Wes is asking How does it work at Liberty International? Do we pay people in our team, or we don't pay maybe? So the answer is yes, we do pay. Fortunately, even though we are still small organization, we have this ability to pay our team members. They are contractors, but they have stable contracts. Of course, it's not American salary standard, but it's good enough to run organization with people who work day to day on full time for Liberty International.
So you're able to do this full time? You're doing this full time?
I am doing it full time, and big portion. Okay, we have about 15 people in the team, but about 10 are working full time.
That's great.
That's great. Yes, thank you. No more questions? Oh, there is Gil. Gil, great.
Mention of trying to put together a journal, and the word science is associated with that. Did I understand that correctly, or was that?
This is a question about the journal, so I think Maria Alejandra will be the best to answer it.
Yeah, is that about
behind you,
your
okay.
index only? This what is? I'd like to know a little more about what the journal idea, what kind of subject matters you would like published.
Thank you. That's right. It will be a research journal in which we can publish scientific and structured research that libertarians are doing. So not only regarding digital nomad, but as Jacek mentioned, commerce, medicine, and that this can also become how you call it, that we can also foster those ideas and see what we can also deepen the research from Liberty International as well, and have this research, like the issues be consistent with it, so that we can also get recognized as a trusted research journal for people out there.
And so. Censoring of scientists and research that doesn't meet the approved narrative of the U.S. government research establishment, which is massive. And it seems that other developed countries sort of follow that lead, and it's certainly holding back real progress. Are you hoping to somehow be an outlet for scientists who are not able to get published? Is that part of your concept?
Yes, definitely. If they follow also the guidelines of our principles and our values, and of course we have great advice from Dr. Mary Ruhr and the board of team members of Liberty International, and we're also open to not only the monetary resources, but also from the expertise of any of you here that can also help us with navigating this as well, because it's complicated, but that will be the idea, to be that outlet. Thank you. Okay.
I see you, Rob.
You're making me run
Raised his
from,
hand.
from there, but it's okay.
So we discussed a little bit, what can we do to help you be more successful in the United States?
What can we do to be more successful in the United States? I would say for us, to be more successful in the United States would be means to be more recognizable in the United States. Unfortunately, we are not very well recognized here in the US, which is a very important country for us. It is a country from where most of our donors come from, and obviously it's a country that has very libertarian or freedom-oriented history. That's also important. So to go across this, to solve this problem, we actually had a very important executive workshop session run by Dr. Patty Hochelbein, Vice President of Atlas Network, just a few days ago in Phoenix, Arizona. All our team leaders and Dr. Mari Ruwart and myself, we were there, and we were discussing, you know, our mission, our vision, our projects, our strategy, but also solving problems like the one that you mentioned, Rob. And we are thinking that it will be a good idea to start a physical event in the United States on annual basis, year to year. It will not be the World Conference. The World Conference will still be nomadic, as we say, event in different countries, different continents. But we can have let's say, 2-day long or 1.5 day long event in the United States. And most likely, we will do this event in a way in which it will have also practical message. So we recognize a number of topics that might be important to our audience, to our donors and non-donors, and maybe future donors, in which we can help them to grow. Things like making first steps in crypto sphere, cryptocurrencies, crypto assets, things connected to longevity, to medical issues, medical tourism. We want to be practical as much as possible. There will be always libertarian theory, though, because we are libertarians. We are not ashamed of this. Quite contrary, we are proud to be libertarians. But we want to be also practical. So we are thinking about an event next year in the fall that will have 2 legs. One more practical leg, more maybe helping to develop solutions in various spheres. We'll need to make a choice in which spheres we want to develop. And it will be interesting. I want to tell you, it will be interesting because we know there's a great competition, right? There's a lot of organizations these days. That's the difference. ISIL was, if not the only, then one of the very few players on this libertarian arena 30, 40 years ago. Now we have a great competition, and it's more tough. But you know what? That's good. Competition is healthy. We just need to get better in our niche, and I think we do have a niche, and we are doing it differently than others. So we want to be better, and yes, rely on us, United States. We will be more often here.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for joining us for this session.